Hello, we're back for another one of my crazy ass story times from the crazy adventures of Dumbass here. So let's get started. Now, this story, not necessarily because I was a dumbass, but because I didn't listen to my gut instinct. So, I worked at a hotel, as usual, one of my worst jobs, and we had guys in the hotel that would bring linens up to us. So this guy who I worked with for like a year, something like a year, he was about maybe 8 years older than me. I was about 23 at the time, and he was like, well, he was in his 30s. So we worked together for almost a year. Really nice guy, laid back, very respectful. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, to everybody. He had a long reputation of being a very stand-up type of man who kept his word, was very, very loyal to his friends. He was single, didn't have no kids. Well, he tells everybody at the hotel one evening he's having a party for his sister at their house. Everybody's invited. Everybody's like, we're going to go to this party. You want to go? You want to go? And I'm like, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm going to go back home. I have a shift at Pizza Hut in the morning. Like, okay, you're such a boring, blah, blah, blah. You're a bore. You're a prude. I'm like, hey, I got bills to pay. I'm not trying to stay up all damn night. I'm tired. And when I was 22 and 23 years old, I partied too much as it was. So it's half what's wrong with me now, health-wise, is because of how bad I lived back then between the ED and the addictions and sometimes the partying. It ruins your future body. Anywho, I didn't show up for that party. So about 2 months later, he comes into my room that I'm cleaning at the hotel, and he's like, hey, I'm having a party for my brother. You want to come over? I'm like, is everybody else going? Because I was actually off that weekend, and it'd be like the first time I could go out, have fun, not drink, because I'd stopped drinking at that time, and I was like 23 at this point. He's like, well, you want to come hang out and stuff? We're having everybody over. Keyword, everybody over. I'm like, yeah, everybody from work's going. People from the beach is going. He's like, yeah, we're going to swing by the beach club, then we're going to go to my house. Okay. Now, this man never gave me any kind of a reason to worry about being in his presence. He never, ever was threatening in any kind of a way. You get my picture here. Very cool, very stand-up type of dude, Even at work, when other guys would disrespect me, he would be like, hey, don't talk to people, don't talk to co-workers like that here. We don't do that here. Be respectful. And if women were, doing anything, or men, either way, he'd call you out. Hey, don't do that in the workplace. That's not cool. That's disrespectful. Anyways, he's like, well, if you want to, after work, I'm going to go get ready. You can just ride to the party with me. It's at my brother's house for my brother. I said, oh, so it's not at your house. Now, that was his first lie that I did not catch on to. Because to begin with, he said the party was for his brother and it was going to be at his house. So at this point, he's saying the party's going to be at his brother's house for his brother. I didn't catch on to it. I'm 23. I'm not paying attention to stuff. So I'm like, sure, we can get ready and go to the party. Everybody's going to be there. Now, I asked 5 different people that I worked with, were they going? And they all said yes. Every one of them said they would be there. Okay, everybody's going to be there. Same story. So my friend Crystal, she was like, I'll meet you there. I'll be there at like 8 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I'll be somewhere in the front where I can find you when you come in if you're going to be there at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. So we go to his house. He's getting ready. I'm getting ready. A guy walks in. He's like, that's my brother. His party. His house. The brother says, yeah, going to have a party at my house. It's all true. We're getting ready, and his brother leaves. Well, about an hour goes by, and this friend of mine still ain't ready. I'm like, thinking to myself, hey, we got to skedaddle here. We're going to be late. It's already like 7:30. We have 30 minutes, for my friend's going to show up. But I don't want to be rude because I rode with him. We're only friends. We've never had any kind of even one flirt between us. Never. Ever. I wasn't even dating guys at this time. I was dating only women at this time. So, about 7:45 rolls around, and I tap on the door, and I'm like, hey, you about ready? My friend's going to be there in 15 minutes. I got to meet her there. We'd already discussed all this. And he's like, yeah, come on in the bedroom. And I'm like, you're decent? Because that's what we say here in the South. We go, or, you decent? And then they'll say, yeah or no, and then whatever. So I said that. He confirms he is in fact decent. I open the door. He's not. He's standing there, butt naked, schlong subway hanging out everywhere. And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Shut the door. He's like, "No, come back in." I'm like, "No, I'm okay. Get ready." "No, you can come back in." I'm like, "No, get ready." You know how people will go back and forth with you to try to convince you to do what they want? And to try to assure you that everything is okay so they can get what they want? That's what he was doing. He was, "No, come back in. It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind if you see me." And I'm like, "I don't want to see you. I'm not in the guys." So at this time I wasn't in the guys. I've had periods in my life where I go back and forth, or with male or female, or, I don't have a preference necessarily. So I'm like, I have to go. Okay, I'll get ready. Don't leave. Because at that point, I'm getting irritated. But I'm still trying to be respectful. I'm like, "You know what? I got my little flip phone. I'll call a ride. It's fine. Do what you got to do." "No, I'll take you." Okay. So 15 more minutes. It's 8 o'clock. I'm like, he ain't ready. So I go to walk out the front door. And as I'm going down the steps, I feel something pull my hair. And as it pulls my hair, it hurt. It wasn't like you see, how you watch like porn and you'll see people pull their hair and they're like, oh yeah, and they're all into it. It was not like that. It was, ow, geez, that did not feel good. It hurt, and pulled me back in the door. And it was like, "I told you we're going to go together." And I'm like, whoa. When I turn around, and I'm already reared up, ready to go, because back then, again, I was feisty. I did not think before I acted, especially when I felt threatened. And he's like, whoa, I was just playing with you. I'm like, you don't snatch on my hair and tell me you're playing with me. Because if I don't give you consent to put your hands on me, you don't put your hands on me. That's how this works. "I'm sorry, I was just kidding. Look, I'm ready, I'm dressed." I think he was attempting to try to manhandle me, but because of my reaction, it scared him a little bit. And he was like, "Whoa, she's a firecracker. I can't do this here." So we get in the car, and he's still laughing and putting on that whole persona of fun, playful, just picking around with you. "I can't believe you got mad about that." And like how a narcissist does when they try to make you feel crazy and wrong, that's what he was doing. "You're so crazy for getting mad about that. I can't believe you would be mad about that. Who would get mad about that? It's just a joke, Lily. Calm down. It's just a joke." And I'm like, you know what? Am I really like overreacting? Maybe I am overreacting. Again, I'm 23. I'm not thinking like now. That's no, heck no, but at that time it was like, well, maybe it was a joke. I don't know. So we're almost to the place we're supposed to be arriving, and my girlfriend's like texting me, "Where are you? You're 35 minutes late. Where are you? Get your now." My girl was with my friend, and they showed up together. And the girl that I was dating at the time was a jealous box. She was jealous over men, women, birds, clouds. She was jealous over shoes. The girl was jealous. Nobody could barely breathe my way without her snapping. At this time, and I'm like, dude, I'm still trying to get there. I don't know where we are. I don't know this area. I wish I'd have never rode home with him. I should have known better. She said, "I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you not to get in a car with strangers." I said, "I worked with him for a year. He ain't a stranger. We've worked together 8-9 hours a day. Day shift, night shift. He ain't a stranger." She's like, "You don't live with him. He's a stranger. You've never lived a day of your life in the house with him. He's a stranger." Okay, you got me. You got me on that one. That's true. So we're still in the car. 8:45. I'm like, where are we? "Oh, we're about to pull up any minute. Any minute now." I said, "Max." I'm going to call him Max. I said, "Max, I don't know where we are, but you got 5 seconds to get me wherever we're going. And quit shitting." I still cussed. I was trying to block out this part. I was like, quit bull and get me where we're supposed to be, or I'm just going to get out and call my girl. No. We're going to be there any minute." He pulls up into this like abandoned, not field. It was like there was like an old type warehouse or something there, but like a parking lot. And then I'm like, okay, I'm getting out the car. Well, the doors were locked. And unfortunately, he had one of these I don't know if it was an eclipse or what, but you couldn't pull the lock up. There was no way to pull the lock up. It was like childproof. So your fingers would just slide on the bare surface. There was no way to pull it up. I'm like, open these doors. You are some kind of little pistol, aren't you? I like that in a woman. I'm like, I don't care what you like in a woman. I'm told you 100 times I'm not into you. Let me out of this car. No, I told you I'll take you to the party. I said, you've been saying that for an hour. Let me out of this car now. I'm trying to tell you, let me out of here. Now, I don't know about you, but when I get confined or enclosed or cornered, threatened, not just cornered, but if I feel threatened in any way, I snap. I snap, crackle, and pop. I go crazy. And I get very, very scared. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is just real talk. Don't mess with a person who's scared. You might mess with Billy Badass. You might mess with this person, that person. Don't go messing with a scared person. A scared person will defend themselves. A scared person will snap. And that's where I was with it. And I'm like, you know what? Max, open this door. And every time I went to go reach for the door, he'd put his hand over on my leg. I'm getting annoyed. I'm like, stop touching me and open the door. The last time he did, I shoved his hand over, and I'm trying to grab my phone to text my girlfriend, and he grabs my phone. That's when I should have seen all the red flags, but that's when the red flag of, oh crap. He's got my phone. Oh crap. He takes and he holds it up, and he's trying to like pretend to play keep away, but in a kind of aggressive way. Well, you can have your phone back if you'll put your hand and touch me right here. Well, you can have your phone back if you'll just put your hand on my pants right here. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this shit. I'm done. I grabbed my high heel off my foot and I rear back and I said, I'm going to either hit the window or you. Which one do you want it to be? You or this window one's going to get busted. Which one? I'm just playing. I said, you've played enough tonight. You have played a damn enough now. I'm not playing these damn games. I said something way worse than that, but I was basically saying I'm not playing these games no more. Let me out. Give me my phone and let me out. I'll let you out, but you're not getting your phone. I said, I'll get my phone or I'll take it out of your one way or the other. I said, I was crazy back then. He took my phone and slammed it back together because I had it open texting. He slams it back together. Now, I guess he figured when he did that, he was like, oh, it's broken now anyways. And he slings it out of his window down to the ground. If y'all know anything about the old school flip phones, you could damn near run them over with a car and they wouldn't break. They'd still work. Mine would. Every one that I had. And I had like 20 or 30 of them like throughout the years when they were what we were using. But he threw it out. And at that point, I'm like, open this door. And I swing my heel back. He unlocks the doors and I jump out. When I jump out, he opens his car door. I run and grab my phone, open it up. And I'm already hitting send because on a flip phone, whoever you were texting, you could just tap the send button, the green button, and it would call that person. So I'm already calling. He's already trying to come towards me. I got a heel in one hand, a phone in the other hand. And I'm like, you go ahead and I'm gonna damn take your eyes out. I'm gonna take your eyes out with this heel. And I get her on the phone. I'm like, you need to get I don't know where we are. We left about 15 minutes from his house, somewhere down the road at a warehouse. She's like, are y'all next to the marina? I'm like, yeah. Like, we're right here at the water. I can hear the water. She said, I bet. She said, what did you see? And I said, it's like a tobacco warehouse is what I'm looking at in a parking lot type deal. Now, he had thrown my phone down on the pavement, and that didn't break it. You couldn't break these phones, okay? But she was like, you're literally, I think you're right across from like the parking lot from us. I think. Because the party is actually at a marina, and there's a big warehouse right across the road from us. He had driven me right across the road from the party behind the warehouse in an open parking lot to try to have sex with me. I'm fuming at this point. So I take my high heel and I straight up to him. He ducks and jumps back in the car. And I take my heel and sling it hard as I can, and it cracks all the way down his passenger window. It hit the side mirror, but it didn't really do much to it. He starts to flip. He's like, you broke my window, and all this stuff, and, see you words and all that. And I'm like, you did this. You caused this. He gets out the car, starts to come back at me again. I'm like, you know what? Why do you keep... He's like, you're going to give it up one way or the other. You're going to give it up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the only thing you're going to get is a black eye. You better stop. You might try to take it, but you're gonna fight for it. Because I will fight you like a man. Right when he gets up to me, he tries to grab my shoulder. I push back. He grabs again. We tumble to the ground. Once we get to the ground, he's over the top of me, looking me dead ass in my face. One hand pulling my hair back like this. I don't know if you realize this, but when you pull somebody's hair hard, it almost stuns them. It'll almost make you go numb and like tense. Like when someone has a seizure or an episode, pulling your hair makes you like tense real hard, and you grit your teeth because it hurts. I mean, it hurt like hell. But all I can see is something that somebody in my family had told me years and years ago. And they were, if anybody has you chromed down and you can't move and they're holding you down, because the way he was sitting, I mean, he was way bigger than me. He had all his weight on top of me and was trying to maneuver my clothes, my dress, trying to maneuver it. And he was getting there with it. He was getting there. I mean, this is a little bit of a brutal story. Not that much, though. But he had about had my underwear down and was steady pulling them while holding my head back over here. And all I could think was what someone used to tell me. Take your two thumbs over their eyes and squeeze. And my family members always said it will work. No matter what's going on, but you have to squeeze so hard. I'm like, would that work? So I did it. And when I did it, it worked. He screamed. And I started thinking, for some reason, I don't know why, my ADHD had me thinking about sharks. How when sharks get poked in the eye to keep them from biting people or to get them off people. And it worked. I got away. I ran to the warehouse. My girlfriend got me, took me home, and I was saved. If you want to hear more stories, let me know. Thanks for watching.